Wife accuses husband of cheating, but he has a surprise for her. So, the posts I've written and posted here previously were written because a friend, actor, asked me to help him putting a play together with scenes that illustrate couples' relations. That is why I began coming here and reading stories. But, the truth is, I really prefer to know these stories looking at people in the eyes, as I get a better sense of the emotions that are behind the stories, which are the main point of doing the play. So, I've put out the word to my friends and he did the same, and some people agreed to share their stories. So, I've seen a lot of pain in people's eyes when they talk about what they went through. But nothing prepared me for what I heard yesterday. So, this comes from a person known by a friend of the actor. We talked a few times about what is going on in his life, and it's a story that is going on 10 years now. But yesterday he called me and said that he would like to talk to me about some developments, and we went for a coffee after dinner. After a bit of small talk, I asked him what was up, and he just handed me his cell phone and showed me a recording of the conversation he had with his wife a couple of days ago. I'm not going to include a backstory, as it's all below, in his own words, throughout the conversation. So F will be the friend and FW is friend's wife. F, so for the record, you've just entered the office in our house and asked me if I'm having an affair, and I asked you to record this conversation before answering. Is this correct? FW, yes, it is. So are you going to answer me? Angry voice, almost screaming. F, yes. FW, yes, you'll answer me? F, yes, I'm having an affair. FW, how long has this been going on? F, are you asking about the woman I've been with? About 2 years. FW, shouting 2 years? You've been unfaithful for 2 years? F, no, I've been unfaithful for 6 years. More to the point, since the 6th of April of 2015. Yes, it was my birthday. I hired a call girl and spent a few hours in a motel. FW, you're a piece of acid, you know? Why would you do this to me? F, well, do you really want to have this conversation? Do you really want to go into the why? I'll tell you why. 9 years ago you started to act different. And I couldn't wrap my head around why. There was nothing fundamentally different between us, and yet, suddenly everything changed. I started to have to walk on eggshells around you. It seemed that the fact that I breathed was irritating to you. And I spent some time lost, wondering why, and trying to do the best I could, but things just seemed to be getting worse all the time. And then our fun time, that was almost inexistent, stopped altogether. Then I found a piece of a Seendom wrapper in the car, as I was cleaning it, and suddenly the reason became clear. She tries to say something and mumbles, but he stops her. F, if you want to know why, you'll know why, just let me continue and then you'll say whatever you want to say. So, in that moment I felt a pain like I never experienced. I felt emasculated, low. I felt there must be something wrong with me. I wanted to hurt you, I wanted to hurt me, but then I thought of the kids and the fact that I loved you so much. I decided I would win you back. But everything I did just seemed to annoy you. I took you to fancy restaurants, on romantic dates, took you on vacation to places that you always said you wanted to get to know, but, in reality, you were never there. You were glued to your cell phone and I was completely transparent. You excused yourself with overtime and work functions, and I picked up the house, the kids. You did nothing, except work, and when you were at home, your cell phone was your world. But I was still trying. She can be heard crying in the background. From that time on we had some sort of half-baked pity-s time on 2 occasions, the 6th of April 2013 and 2014. On your birthday, in 2014 I went overboard, tried to plan the perfect evening for us, as a family, for you just to bail out, calling at the last minute saying you were stuck at work and would be late. Can you imagine the faces of our girls when you did this? Well, of course you can, but you never bothered to. They were heartbroken. This was the beginning of the end, for me. I was going to divorce you and explode yours and your lover's life. Hired a pie, found all the proof that I needed, all your dirty getaways. Found where the guy lived, found his wife. I followed them, you know? And guess what, you can't even imagine how sweet your lover is to his wife. Maybe he is overcompensating because of his guilt? And then I saw his kids and I just couldn't bring myself to explode their marriage. So, I talked to lawyers about starting the divorce proceedings, but then I started to see how this impacted us, financially, how it impacted our lives and the lives of the kids. But, let me tell you, at that time, if I had found a way to get away with murder, I would have strangled you with my own hands. And then my 2015 birthday arrived and there was not even the half-baked pity-esque time, not even a kiss, not even a card. You completely forgot. FW, crying and shouting, well, it's not like you did anything for my birthdays either. Yes, but I did not forgot them. I purposely didn't give a damn about them. But in your case I do believe that I was so unimportant to you that you really forgot. And if you didn't, well, then we are on the same boat, aren't we? She just cries. So, that night I hired an escort and binged her in the same motel you were at with your lover. And then I decided that the kids were really the most important thing, that not messing them up with all this was important, because they were already suffering from the neglect you were showing them. FW, neglect? What are you talking about? You want to ask them how they feel? Go ahead. Go talk to them and ask them. I dare you. Silence. So, that's when we really had some blowouts, if you remember. But, I knew your lover would never leave his family, so, I knew that unless I did something, you wouldn't either. And, if you did, well, I had really nothing to lose and, in the end, we would manage. That's when I stopped doing everything and started calling you out when you were in a bad mood because the clothes weren't washed or ironed and I started to tell you to do it yourself. FW, and so you decided to go behind my back. No. You are completely wrong. I never went behind your back. I never told you, but never hid it. At first there was really nothing to talk about. After a dead bedroom for 3 years, my confidence that any woman would even look at me didn't exist. But I started to gain some self-respect back, started working out more, stopped drinking and smoking, started eating better, started living for the girls. And you know what? Can you imagine how many divorced soccer moms are out there? It seemed that I wasn't that bad, after all. It seemed that the problem wasn't me, it was you. Then, 2 years ago I met my current girlfriend. The kids know her, at family events where you didn't want to go, from my side of the family, never took her to your parents, even though they know. FW, my parents know? Of course. I told them. I didn't want some rumors to get to them and didn't want misunderstandings. I wanted them to know what was happening in our lives and their grandkids' lives. I asked everybody to keep it a secret because, as I didn't want to disrupt our lives, didn't want the drama and everything else, and as our marriage was just a piece of paper. FW, everybody knows all of this? Just the kids and our immediate families. That's why I never went back to your parents' house and why I stopped telling you to come to mine. But, going back, I never hid it from you. I left Facebook Messenger opened, my mail is logged in our home computer, my phone doesn't have a password. You just never cared, the same way that I didn't feel obligated to tell you. And, after I fell out of love with you, I didn't care either. After all, we didn't even talk. We spent weeks where we didn't say a word to one another. We became two strangers living under the same roof, nothing more, and that is what we are. She just cries, and cries. But I knew this conversation would be coming. To be honest, I never expected it would begin with you accusing me of cheating. I think even you can see the hypocrisy. Remember the phones I gave you for your birthday through the years? You think I did it because I loved you? Nope. They all had spyware on them. I've been reading your conversation for, at least, 5 years now, so I know where you've been, when. If I want to, I can even know how many times you ducked him in the back seat of your car or his. And then, without warning, all communication stopped 2 months ago. And I saw how depressed you were around the house as, all of a sudden, your work didn't need you as much as it used to wonder why. And then I did some digging and found out about his accident, how he is paraplegic and being taken care of by the wife he was never going to leave, how he can't even move his arms to send you a farewell text. And I saw how nice you started to be to our girls and to me, even though you were depressed. I knew this was coming. So, I'm going to tell you how it's going to be. If you want a divorce, I've got 9 years of proof of infidelity and I will take you to the cleaners. If you want to get out of the house, but not get divorced, you can, but that is solely your problem, financially speaking. I would advise you to keep things as they are, at least until our younger goes out to college in a couple of years. You can find another boyfriend or have your hookups, as long as you are discreet, even though I know it will be different now, because you are almost 50, and you can always find someone to bone you, but I doubt you'll find someone that wants something more meaningful. As for me, life will go on, as it has in the last 9 years. There was more stuff in the recording, but this was the important part, as I saw it. I asked him if I could transcribe it and put it here and he agreed, so, he knows this is posted. Don't know if he is a Reddit user. How do you guys feel about what his life was for the last 9, almost 10 years? As always, sorry for grammar and some errors, as I'm not a native English speaker. Edit, just came to my attention that someone made a YouTube video with this story. I would kindly ask the person that made the video to take it down, as this is copyrighted material for the play. If he had talked to me about making a video with what I wrote, it would be different, but no one contacted me. So, take it down or, at least contact me. I've put this story here for free so many of you that come here with problems have something more food for thoughts, as I did with the other stories, not for someone to profit from the YouTube views. Thank you. Redditor's reactions updater after. Redditor 1, that friend played her at her own game and won big time. Op answer, well, he say he just did the math, and it would be costly to divorce. And as she despised him and didn't even talk to him, most of the time, he just went on with life without all of the paperwork. But he says that, in his mind, he is divorced. Redditor 2, I had a similar situation. Found out she was having an affair, so I got my proof and confronted her, made her the offer if she can do her thing and I'll do mine till our youngest graduates high school. She chose to move to a different state to be with this guy and just gave me full custody of my 2 kids. I hate the pain my kids are dealing with, but I'm thankful she's gone too. I think it's less painful for them this way. Op answer, it is. She would only make them miserable, both your lives would be miserable and that would affect the kids too. Better that way. Away from sight. Redditor 3, I really love to hear an update on this. Wow, what a play. I got a doubt in this. Does the kids know about the mom's affair? Op answer, yes, the kids know. They know their dad's girlfriend. Their mother neglected them for years. Only the affair mattered. Now she is paying the price. Redditor 4, this post is poetically sad, almost like a Greek tragedy. I can't imagine the burden of this situation. The burden of your friend, knowing the truth about his wife, the burden of the family, knowing the pain of the husband and the infidelity of the wife, the burden of the kids, years of neglect, the burden of the affair partner, knowing the accident is probably karma and that he doesn't deserve his own wife. And finally, the burden of the wife, knowing how she ruined everything and the realization that she is the villain in everyone's life. That's a lot of damage to soak in. And at the end she has to live with herself and her decisions. Damn. I wish all of them the best in this mess. Virtual hugs for your friend. Op answer, it is, indeed, a sad situation. I guess he did the best he could with the hand he was dealt. The thing is, apart from her family, he told her parents that if they said something he would file for divorce. File for sole custody. Infidelity is still grounds for divorce in my neck of the woods and plays a big role in everything related, and they would never say their grandafters again. That's why they kept quiet, but their relationship with their daughter suffered a lot. Everybody else just moved on. Now that it's all out, I don't know what will really happen. Update, wife accuses husband of cheating but he has a surprise for her. To all of you that were curious. So, I finally saw the guy again. We crossed paths while grocery shopping on a mall near my home, and we went to grab a coffee. I didn't want to just come out and ask how the situation was, but he cut to the chase and gave me an update on his situation. So, after that talk, she spent the next 3 days locked in a guest room. When she came out, finally, she was a complete mess. She asked my friend if they could talk, to which my friend agreed. They sat down on the living room and she started by saying how sorry she was of this whole thing. That only once he said all that she realized what she had done to her family, how much she regrets it and that she wants to be a family again. He listened to her and then said that she was sorry because it was over. She was sorry because now she had no one. That the way things are now are just a consequence of the choices she made. That they are not a family anymore. That ship has sailed. And that in no way, shape or form he saw her as his wife. And then asked her what she wanted to do. He says she just sat there for quite a long time, quietly crying, and then she just accepted the situation and said she wouldn't be on anyone's way. He told her that was fine, but that she should seek therapy to help her through all this. She suggested couples therapy and he just told her they are not a couple anymore. Just two people living under the same roof. The only thing was, they could be civil and maybe even regain some friendship, so life in the house could be a bit more pleasant, or not. But that was a choice he didn't need an answer for. Her actions would determine how things would work out. He stated to her again that she was free to find someone else, as long as she was discreet about it, and that was that. He says that since the talk she has been the perfect roommate. And that is it. Edit, just to be clear, no one has my permission to share any of the things written on my profile on YouTube or any other platform, be it the Strong Successful Male channel or any other one. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, Velp, let me grab my snacks and drink for this one. Hopefully he will tell her about the affair. At the same time she destroyed everything, there is no way coming back from that. Update on this. Op answer, this is already the update. He confronted her in the original post. Redditor 2, and that cheater's poor wife, stuck taking care of him. Wish someone would surprise her with the truth so she could go on and live her life without being burdened by him. Redditor 3, wow, certainly the loneliest way of not being alone. Life goes on. Redditor 4, is it just me or does it seem like the strong successful male lives in his car?